in 10 seconds, in 9, in 8, in 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Happy 1994!
Yo! Welcome back for all you avid listeners out there. Thank you for tuning back in and watching if you're watching on YouTube. For anyone else who's new, this is a podcast discussing hip-hop through the decades, the culture that surrounds it, and current affairs. So if you want to find out what's going on and stuff with us, follow at 1994 was yesterday on Instas, subscribe YouTube, follow Spotify, subscribe Apple Podcast app, and yeah, basically.
Let's go.
Yeah, for all you people who have been watching, we are, as you can see, elsewhere today. But
New year, new us.
yeah, but that's the beauty of 1994 was yesterday. We can kind of just be wherever we want to be,
Yep.
which is awesome.
Today's episode is featuring the sounds of my dog in the background, who I will soon put in the room because her
FYI.
claws are making too much noise. And those little jingles, you hear that? So her name is Honey. I'm gonna introduce her real quick and then pop her in the room. Aaron, you tell them what's going down today.
All right. So today, as always, we have the current affairs / chit chat sort of deals. We're going to dive into. We've got an album of the week is Big L. What's it called? Lifestyles over the poor and dangerous, of the poor and dangerous rather. And yeah, I'm reading off my thing because I can't remember off the top of my head. And we got a couple of tracks for first impressions. So yeah, basically, if any of you guys out there have any questions or any feedback for us, make sure to slide into the DMs and let us know.
Hope you're taking care of them. I'm back.
Of course.
Had to go on a business trip real quick.
Oh yeah. Alrighty. So, I have a question.
What's up?
How would you feel if I told you in like 5 to 10 years time, right? Dead set 5 to 10. So it's not that far away.
Right.
You'll be able to buy augmented reality contact lenses. So basically, like, you know, like the sci-fi movies and stuff, you have a heads-up display right here. So, you know, you think, like maps, like Google Maps, right? So it will be right here in front of you instead of looking down on your phone or you just hearing it.
Yeah, interesting.
What do you reckon?
I'd be hyped, but I wouldn't get them. First off, how are they connected? Like, the amount of radiation that would have to be from the, you know?
So from my understanding, it's like a Bluetooth thing.
They would have to have some kind of technology, and that's in your eye. What if it malfunctions and it blows up in your eye?
So what it is it has a battery pack.
Chill.
Right?
No.
It's a battery pack, and the battery pack sits where the pupil is, because obviously, like, we're not looking through the pupil.
Nope.
So the battery pack sits there, and it's like super thick. It's crazy.
Bro,
crazy.
That's
I'll throw a picture.
battery in your eye.
I'll throw a picture up here. It's
Chill
wild.
with that.
But
I don't like anything in my eyes. I don't even like, you know, when the contact craze, when everyone like was wearing contacts and they're like, oh, I got blue eyes now.
Yeah.
No, your boy was not feeling it. I can't even put my own fingers in my eyes. Like I don't like that. Yeah. Ugh, nah, you good.
Well, that actually kind of hurt.
Yeah, exactly. Because your hands are salty, bro.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly. I was like, oh, that feels salty.
Yeah, no. I'm good.
All right. Well,
that's why I'm wearing these bad boys instead of glasses. I mean, contacts.
Ooh, what up? Well, all right. So then, what is something in tech that you would want to see in the future, or you know, something that was a dream in the past, but
Google Glass, like the normal glasses that tell you all the stuff?
Well, you know that there's a new version of that that's just been like sent to developers and stuff.
Right. I want to see it.
Yeah. I'll throw it up there.
I feel like there was all this hype and talk about it, and then they were like selling units and people were using them, and then it just vanished. They were just like, oh, it's whack now.
Yeah, really weird. I saw somewhere along the lines that Apple had patent designs for something super similar.
I'm sure they'd be sick though.
Well, that's the thing. Like, look, I appreciate Google making Android phones and all the rest of it, but it's like Apple products or like Google making products and all the rest of it, but Apple products they just are.
So funny enough that you say that, because yesterday I was at church and my pastor's message was called "Hit It with a Simple Stick," and the whole point, like the beginning of her message, just talked about Steve Jobs and Apple and how they're so popular because, or literally a quote from Steve Jobs would be, when people would walk into the room with like complex ideas, he would hit it with a simple stick, and he would just keep hitting it with a simple stick until it was so easy that everyone in the room could easily understand it. And that's how eventually they came out with the iPhone. You notice everything Apple is simple. It's all about simplicity.
Mate, and that is why, basically, I think every sort of tech product, as much as I can, is probably Apple, because it's seamless across. And I'm sure Android is the same. I'm sure it's seamless across to an extent.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I used Android for a while. It's not as simple as Apple.
I just like the fluidity.
Yeah, that's it.
Is that word?
Yeah. People talk about being in the garden too. They put you in this like a hedged garden, right?
Right.
So like if you're in the Apple ecosystem, you actually can't really see what's you don't really care what the heck Samsung's doing because they're not your device.
Yeah.
You would have to relearn technology pretty much if you wanted to get a Samsung phone. If Samsung phones came with iOS on them, you'd consider it.
100%.
Yeah, but they don't, so you just don't even give it the time of day. You're just like, what's the point in looking into that?
Well, yeah, actually, that's definitely true, man. Like, you know, I guess Samsung just brought out their new phone.
Mm-hmm. The flippy one? Or
there's a flippy one, and there's like yeah. And I was like, okay, cool, but I don't really care if it's like the best phone on the market because
you wouldn't use it anyway.
I just wouldn't use it anyway because I would just wait until Apple like catches up, because then what happens is Apple seemingly learns from their competitors' mistakes.
100%.
And then boom,
yeah,
like
it's beautiful, right?
Yeah, it's great. So I mean, yeah, I'm a Apple.
So I'm waiting for Apple glasses. That's pretty much
Apple glasses, yeah, basically, yeah.
Nah, they don't really use eye anymore. You notice that?
Yeah,
it's like Apple
Pro. They're going with the Pro side instead of the I side.
Like the iPads, I think, were like the last thing that they called i, because they didn't call it iWatch. They called it the Apple Watch. They didn't call it the
iPods.
earpods or whatever they call it, the AirPods. You know, so everything is like they stopped with the i. I is like whack now. You notice that?
I feel like there's hundreds of companies that just stick an I at the front, and they just like
technology.
Yeah, or even like iPlumber. I've seen that and
true.
things like that. You know what I mean? Like,
I just means digital now.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
it's like the universal letter for digital.
Well,
iMail, not email. iMail.
Yeah. All right. Well, moving on. I don't suppose you saw those guys. There was a group of guys down in Atlanta, and they were impersonating the WU TANG Clan.
What? No, I didn't see that.
Impersonating the WU TANG Clan.
That's incredible. Tell me more.
They hired out Rolls Royce Phantoms, like 2 or 3 Rolls Royce Phantoms, and I mean like that's like
right.
And they ran up like hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of bills in like hotels, like on bar tabs and all that sort of stuff.
Right.
And it ended up that only like they went to one hotel and then they tried hiring out 10 rooms, and then I guess the hotel manager was like, that's a bit weird. Why would they do that? Which in turn is weird that you question that, because if you believe that they're Wu-Tang, then why would you think that they wouldn't want 10 rooms when there's like fucking
like 10 members.
10 members or whatever, 8 members or whatever. So anyway, and then he sort of clocked on, called the police, and the police were like, they ain't Wu-Tang. But only 2 of the guys went down for it. Everyone else got let off free.
Right.
How crazy is that?
Hey, that's a good idea. I'm just going to lose some weight, grow out my beard, pretend to be Drake.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The what I don't understand is if you thought of any car to resemble Wu Tang, to I don't know the word, but if you picked any car to match Wu Tang style, it would not be a Rolls Royce.
No way.
At all.
No,
At all.
no.
It would be like something a bit old. It would be like the same way that you'd associate, let's say, Eazy-E with like a Cadillac, right? Or like Snoop Dogg with the Cadillac DeVille or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Wu-Tang would almost be like a blacked out van with no windows, right?
Yes.
That's Wu-Tang, the blacked out van with no windows and mad rims on it. Rims aren't like too much of a thing, but the blacked out van, like that's it. That's Wu-Tang.
With smoke
like
coming out the windows.
Yeah, with smoke coming out, or like the big box truck.
Yeah,
just a big box. They would all chill in the box. You open up the box truck, it's pimping inside, but it just looks like a box truck.
Yeah.
Or even like a muscle car or something, but not a
Phantom.
Phantom. That's like, you need to be like a high end. Like that's like something that maybe like Migos would arrive in,
Drake
or Drake or somebody like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Even Kendrick wouldn't arrive in a Rolls Royce. I feel like it's that's a very specific niche rapper.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a flex from like a back in the day flex.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people flex not like that anymore. I think.
Weird.
Well.
No, Wu-Tang would arrive in like 8 motorcycles.
Yeah,
really.
Some shit.
Like
quad. Dirt bike.
Yeah, dirt bikes and quads.
Yeah,
Just all like that's what they would do. Rolls Royce. That would have thrown me off immediately. I was like, "That man ain't getting no fucking Rolls Royce." What do you mean?
Well, aside from that, there's a new Tupac film being made.
Is it a drama or is it actual Tupac film?
It's like a. Technically, we don't know exactly whether he's alive or not, or at least we all have our theories. Theories.
Listen, he's alive, chilling on a beach in Mexico. Everybody knows
for
that.
sure, and that's exactly what it's about. It's about him and how he like faked his death.
You sent me the link, right?
Yeah.
That's where I seen it before.
Yeah.
Right.
But interestingly, I read a little bit about it, and they were saying how he, in the hospital, they just switched the bodies, right?
Right.
And what's interesting is that in real life, not in like movie life, if you look at the photos from the coroner's report, first of all, he doesn't have 5-0 like niggas, like the gun tattoo on the bottom of above his belly button,
right?
On his belly button,
something like that.
He doesn't have that tattoo, and then other tattoos in like kind of just kind of wrong placements and stuff. You know how people like really like get zoned in and stuff. So I mean, anyway,
he's chilling with Elvis,
all the boys. So yeah, but the problem is with this is that it's being made, directed, all that other stuff by the same dude who did All Eyes on Me.
Oh no! Why?
Exactly. So that like super inaccurate. Just like what's her face?
This got to stop.
Jada Pinkett Smith came forward and she was like, "That never happened. Blah blah blah." Like from the movie, and it's like so
super drama for no reason.
Yeah, but
that's dumb.
But maybe it'll be good. They don't have the same actor playing Tupac either. I don't think. And can I just say, just real quick as well, talking about the same actors playing. I was really happy in that All Eyes on Me that they had the same dude play Biggie as they did in Notorious B.I.G. movie. But the same time period, there's a crossover of time period, right? And for some reason in this movie, Biggie seems to have like a beard, like a goatee thing. And it's like, I'm certain he never had that ever. Like
he's not a goatee guy.
Go back and watch like on YouTube, like just the Tupac Biggie clip from All Eyes on Me, and you guys out there as well, man. Go and check it out, and you'll see he has a beard. And it's like, bro, so you're gonna have it that important that you can have the same actor play Biggie, but then not have the same continuity of Biggie apparently having. It's just all over the show. The movie's awful.
They think that they think he's like Common or something.
Yeah.
Common is literally the only guy in all of hip hop to have a goatee and like be okay. Is he even hip hop, Common?
Yeah.
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 Does he rap? Or does he's I consider him R&B, like that bridge between hip hop and R&B.
He definitely sits on the fence, that's for sure.
Which I love.
Yeah,
I think Common is brilliant. Or Yasin Bey, Mos Def.
Mos Def. Look, mate, Mos Def is just...
Fat Joe had a goatee, but he had the Puerto Rican goatee, which is different. The thin boy.
The thin thing.
The cocaine goatee.
Yeah.
So you can't get nothing caught in it. That's what it is. Yeah.
Jokes.
Yeah. Because would you consider Tupac's a goatee? It didn't connect. Tupac's was nice because it was a mustache and a tuft,
thing.
whatever it is, chin thing.
Yeah.
But Biggie 1000% did not have a goatee.
Ever. I swear I've never seen any photos of him.
No.
So it's really weird that in the movie he is depicted with that. And that was like, I remember sitting there at the cinema and I was just like, man, there was so many things wrong with the movie. Just by sitting there, I was just like, disappointed. After all these years waiting for a movie to be made, they just need Spike Lee to make.
Spike Lee needs to jump on
just
that.
Because I swear he was like supposed to do it at first and then, creative difficulties.
I want a movie about Jay-Z's life.
Jay-Z?
Just called Blueprint. Like, come on.
That's obviously the title of the movie.
Yeah.
Or just call it... No, yeah.
I'd call it Blueprint or Hard Knock Life. That's too cheesy almost.
Yeah. It's too on the...
Yeah. Right on the money. Yeah. If it was called Blueprint, they'd be like, oh, what's this movie about? Oh, it's about Jay-Z. What if you had a Jay-Z and Nas like feud, like that era of like Jay-Z and Nas?
Well, with the whole like TV show series that they're doing and stuff like that, like they could definitely like do that.
That's true.
People be interested in like seeing those like periods of times being relived, just like they do with the WU TANG saga thing that just came out.
And you need to get these guys on there to go, this is exactly what happened, say this, boom. Because I believe Wu Tang, they had 100% like hand inside of everything.
Yeah. So they were like, so I swear I read somewhere that like the dude who plays Meth, like hung out with Meth. The dude who played Ray played.
Okay.
But they all like hung out and like sometimes it was only like some people only hung out for a few months, which is still quite a long time.
Who's your favorite Wu Tang member?
Meth, and it's Meth purely because he's for me the most dominant out of the Wu, right?
He's also the buffest.
And
like he's yoked.
Yeah, he's huge. His voice is dope. Lyricism, flow is dope, and when whoever he teams up with, e.g. Redman, it's just like.
Dude, Redman, Method
unofficial,
Man, that
like,
was crazy.
Bro, Blackout and Blackout too, like, illest, man. But yeah. So...
Mine's got to be the Jizza. Just from like, Liquid Swords, man.
Oh, yeah,
like,
true. But then you have Cuban... was it Cuban Link? Link, yeah. Raekwon's... That was fire, man. I remember buying that at
Ghost
HMV.
too, like Ghostface.
It is difficult, actually.
Did you I believe it was Ghost like pressed Action Bronson and be like, this guy's just trying to sound like this white boy's just trying to sound like me when Action Bronson first came out.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, and Action Bronson was like, my man's, you're my biggest inspiration. Like, you are God to me.
Yeah.
Like, please do not do this to me right now. It's like, I think Action Bronson's sick though.
Action Bronson's fire.
Yeah.
But one of the first ever, so there was 2 hip hop albums that really I first ever listened to. Shout out to my homie Henry Reckless Wright.
Whoa.
For
Henry.
For introducing me. So first was Roots Maneuvers' first album, Brand New Secondhand, I think is what it's called. I could be completely wrong. Which is like an English hip-hop.
What are they called?
Roots Maneuver.
Roots Maneuver.
Yeah, super amazing. Like epitome of UK hip hop.
Maneuver.
Yeah, like maneuver.
Right.
Like with a U and a V.
Yeah.
And then the other album was 36 Chambers. Like, when we're talking like when I
Yeah.
was like maybe 13, 14, something like that. So I'd heard hip hop before that and all the rest of it. And like, I had singles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it must have been earlier than that, man. It must have been like when I was like 12 or something. Anyway, regardless, shout out to Henry for introducing me to the WU. Appreciate you, brother.
I don't know if, I mean, I know that you're not the biggest Tribe fan, but Roots Maneuver looks like Q-Tip.
Yeah, I know, massively.
Like, I thought this was, I was like, oh, Roots Maneuver, aka Q-Tip. He looks identical.
The UK Q-Tip.
Yeah, you Q-Tip.
You Q-Tip, I like it. But yeah, so to bring it back round, Tupac dead?
No.
Question mark? No, I don't think so either.
Nah, man.
Wherever he is, I reckon he's live and kicking.
That, you remember in Coachella when he was like, "What up, Coachella?" That was Tupac, bro. Like,
You reckon?
They just Skyped him in. He's
You reckon?
shit. Nah. I just want to stir the shit a little bit.
Bro, I remember when I first saw that and I was like, whoa.
Imagine that was his reveal. Like, he just came back, and he would be put in jail though, because obviously faking your own death.
Is that?
Side
I suppose,
note,
yeah.
real quick, I thought about this earlier. If you had the chance to fake your own death, but all your family and everything, you still got to keep them, and you could just start over as Bartholomew Montenegro.
Mm-hmm. Do I have to keep that name?
The fifth. And you're over there in Fiji selling coconuts for a living. It's a fresh start.
Well,
Straight Breaking Bad style.
I don't know. Would you?
And I got to keep my family?
Yeah.
Or does my family think I'm dead? If my family thinks I'm dead, no. Because if they think that I'm dead, my mom's going to have a heart attack and die.
That's not good.
Knock on wood. But I'm the light of her life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if I passed away, my mom would just be like, yeah, what's the point?
Game over.
Yeah, I know Honey, my dog, would go nuts. She's chilling in the bathroom right now eating a pig's ear. She's good. Life's good for her.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess I would. I mean, I don't know. No? I don't need to. Nah.
I wouldn't either.
I just moved to another country.
After all that, I wouldn't either. I like my name.
You can just move to another country. You know what I mean?
I did. Why do you think I came to Australia?
Same.
I'm dead in
Same
Brooklyn.
kind of thing.
I'm
yeah.
dead in Brooklyn.
You know what I mean?
I don't give a I'm dead. There were so many people that actually wanted to harm me. It's wild.
What?
Yeah, for real. I didn't move here
Purely
because people were after me, but there was a lot of people that didn't like me. And it was like for bullshit reasons too, but you get come over here, you know, you join a church. I'm Christian now, fresh start, bada bing, bada boom. And 5 years later, here we are, making a podcast called 1994 Was Yesterday. And I'm set up with this sick life way better than it would have been in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I was rotting, bro.
Well,
All my friends, they're all on fucking, or not all my friends, but most of my friends are like in the exact same place that I left them 5 years ago.
yeah.
Drugs, chilling, drinking, not doing shit, bro.
Not being productive. Reaching their full potential.
Not reaching their full potential. And again, this is, for all my friends listening to this, this is not all of my friends.
Just a couple out there.
There's actually the people I call my friends, they're doing stuff. But the people that like were acquaintances, most of them are fucking bums.
Ooh. Calling people out or up in her.
No, it's just I'm a bum sometimes too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Probably shouldn't say that, but
Such
they're
as
not bums. I'm joking.
No, I know what you mean.
They're just like
Not reaching their full potential.
because New York is a jail. They lock you into this thing, and then they go, oh, I want to move someplace. I want to start fresh. You always want this thing, but you never do it because you're stuck in this cell, right? Life in this. Oh, what is it? This is like life is no different from a cell. It's a WU TANG.
Yeah.
Life in this place is no different from a cell.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing, bro. Why do you think you have your bodega on the corner, your shoe store right here? Everything is right there in your neighborhood. It's meant to keep you right in.
Yeah.
And
So
they
you don't
go,
need nothing else.
let's go on a big holiday. Let's go to Florida. 3-hour flight away. That's like going from Sydney to Gold Coast, bro. And that's a big trip for them. I don't want that life. Move somewhere else. Moving on. Sorry, that got real deep real quick.
That's all good. That's what we're here for. Lastly, in related culture sort of news-ish, sort of, face tattoos, right? So, remember Amber Rose?
Bald head?
The bald head chick.
Right.
So, she...
I got a funny story about that in a sec. Continue.
So, she got her children's names... Well, one of the children's names is Slash, random, and then one of them is Sebastian. So, she got Bash and Slash in script on her forehead, bro. Like full.
Are you kidding?
I throw it up here.
What?
And then there's 3 people. This is all last week. The game got a sideways 8 above his right.
It looked like a temporary tattoo.
So
even though the game's skin is jacked up, like he already has started out he looked like he fell off the ugly tree and hit every stick on the way down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That guy has never looked handsome at all, even in his previous life.
Shots fired
no,
all
I'm just,
day
I'm
today.
Just saying.
This guy's got an AK-47 in his mouth. Shit.
Sorry, I had 3 coffees before starting this.
Well, apparently the reason why it's sideways is because the 8 represents Kobe, his first number for the Lakers, and it's on the side for infinity loop, so it's like Kobe forever type thing. I mean, look, I'm down for commemorative tattoos and stuff, and like memorial tattoos, but that's not the best one out there. And then your man's Chris Brown, he got a Jordan 1 tattooed on his right cheek, like right here.
What?
Like just like a...
When was this?
All 3 last week.
Something's going on. Something's in the water in California, bro.
Crazy, man. Crazy. But
some straight Illuminati shit.
But face tattoos, what are your thoughts? As like a whole, because I mean, it seems to be popular since the mumble rap sort of phase.
You know what else was popular? Chinese caricatures. You know what else was popular? Douchebag guy tribal. You remember that?
And barbed wire.
That was popular too.
Yeah.
These guys are getting that on their face, bro.
So,
and Amber Rose she's a model. She's gorgeous, right? To get script bash and dash or whatever, that just sounds like a terrible like Simpsons game. Simpsons bash and dash.
Yeah.
The sequel to Simpsons Hit and Run.
Yeah.
Like
bash and slash.
The bash and see I can't even. She's gonna have a third kid Dash and she's gonna say bash clash and clash, and then that's her dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bash clash dash and slash.
It's quite a statement.
Oh wow.
Face tattoo is quite a statement. I mean, it's a statement sort of like having one creeping up on your neck and stuff. But
I think those are cool, neck tattoos.
I mean, look, at the end of the day, like we're both. So for anyone who hasn't watched and just listening, we both have tattoos and stuff. It's not like, we're out here judging people and we don't have it ourselves. No. But I do think face tattoos is quite a statement to make. I mean, you got old mate Posty with always tired underneath his eyes.
That was
like
the biggest. That's the dumbest thing, man.
That's bold, man. Like, I mean, I suppose if he ever wants to get it removed in 10, 20 years' time, the technology is probably going to be way better than what it is now. So then kind of like whatever, I guess.
They could do whatever they want. They're making millions of dollars and we're over here like drinking water.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Would I get a face tattoo? Yeah. But I would get like the crown of my head. So my boy John, shout out John Juanchito. He is Chinese Filipino, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Chinese Filipino. Gangster motherfucker, right? Like tiny, just like that. Gangster Chinese kid. And he has his whole head tattooed, like Travis Barker style. But in the beginning, when I first met him in college, he had a little like Philippians 4:13 or something like that, like a Bible verse, like tattooed on his hairline. I thought that shit was hard, especially because he had long hair, and when he put his hair down, you don't see it at all anyway. Yeah. And he had his hair down all the time, or wearing a hat. If you're wearing a hat, you don't see it. So I thought that was hard, and then he just shaved his head and got his entire dome tattooed, and that looks sick. So when I'm losing all my hair, depends on what place I'm at in life.
Yeah.
If I'm a banker, which I won't be, I wouldn't get the head tattoo. But you know, Megan likes tattoos. My wife.
Yeah.
Does Sophie like tattoos?
She does. We gonna get one together.
Oh.
Yeah, we're planning on getting one together. Just and we know what we're gonna get. We just haven't done it yet. I mean,
Alfie boy.
yeah. Oh no. It's so in Swedish culture, they have this horse that is called a
Thunder horse.
Oh man, that'd be sick if it was called that. It's called a oh shit,
Dark horse.
Vita Hästen, I
Ooh,
think. So Hästen
okay.
means horse in Swedish.
Right.
Or Väster Hästen, something like that.
Okay.
That's so annoying because normally, if I was to see the horse, I would know exactly how to say it. Anyway, so it's like this little this horse that's painted in a specific way, and usually they're red and they have like some color and shit.
Is it Dalle?
Oh, Dalahästen.
Dalekarlian? Dalahasten?
Yeah, Dalahästen.
Yeah, I don't even know.
Dalahästen.
I give it up. I give up.
But
But
that's-
that
that's
looks
it.
like a pinata.
So
it's rad.
It's kind of like that,
That's
right?
sick.
I'll throw it up here.
Yeah, it looks sick.
But yeah, so we're gonna get like a really basic, like like the geometric type tattoos,
Cool.
but not necessarily sharp edges, but that real simple thin lining, but with dot work instead of it being
Cool.
color. Maybe it'll be color, but it'll be dot work color anyway. So it should look pretty dope.
I like
and
that.
then it's like it's a Swedish thing, and it's like she's Swedish, and like I'm with her and stuff.
Yeah.
So you know,
You're
it's cool.
Swedish by association.
Yeah. But yeah,
That's rad.
moving on. So Big L, rest in peace.
Ding, 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 ding.
The Jam.
Thank you, Gangstar.
21 years since his passing. So we looked at Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous, which was his only studio album released during his lifetime, which is pretty nuts to sort of. That's crazy. I mean, I guess it's kind of similar with like Biggie and stuff like that as well, but crazy. But track one of that, Put It On, iconic. Like, do you think it's like one of the most iconic? Well, I think it's one of the most iconic classic hip hop tracks ever.
Yeah, rad.
You know, for that to be your first track, no intro, no nothing, just straight into that.
Ballsy. What's the statement?
The best statement ever. Like, fuck you, I'm here.
What did you just call it? The best classic hip
Hip-hop.
hop track? Yeah. That's a good
What-
that's a
what
good
one
take
of-
on it. No, yeah,
one
that's a good explanation. That's a good category to put it in.
Yeah, I think so.
The best classic hip hop track.
But you know, let's be real. Do you think that he is? That you think there's many rappers to date that sort of touch him on lyricism and flow and like his wordplay? Nowadays.
It's tough because there's people that are really good with wordplay, but you can't even put them in the same boat because they're not. It's not that era. Like let's say Kendrick's amazing, but it's not the same era, so you just can't even compare. That's how I feel personally. So to answer your question, with a little asterisk on the side, no.
No, I don't think there is either, for the simple reason just because there ain't. Not really. I mean, Nas is still there, and he's from same era. So, I mean, I guess he's there with him, but like anyone new?
I think
Maybe Chance a little bit.
I'm thinking about it.
Well, why you think I will quote from All Black, which is one of the tracks on the album. So don't step to this because I got a live crew. You might be kind of big, but they make coffins your size too. I was taught wise. I'm known to extort guys. This ain't Cali, it's Harlem, nigga. We do walk bys and let 'em have it all. The crown is still mine because I drop ill rhymes. A lot of rappers talk that murder shit and couldn't kill time. What? Shut up, bro.
There's levels to this shit, bro.
A lot of rappers take that murder shit and couldn't kill time. Boo, 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 boo.
Yeah, shots fired.
So good. So good, man.
I think there's only one rapper that tops him lyrically.
Ooh.
I just thought about it.
Okay.
None other than Nikki Fresh.
Oh,
straight out of the Hamptons, bro. Don't sleep on it.
Bro, could you... I swear
Can
to
you
God.
imagine? She just has straight bars, bro.
She has like all the best just writing for her, ghosting for her.
Just yeah.
And then she just so happens to be someone who has like a really good delivery.
What's really good? Okay, is that your? Would you put that up as like some of your best? What would that be considered? Metaphors, alliteration,
Metaphors,
right?
Yeah, for sure. But then Lil Wayne, if we're talking metaphors, you have to bring Wayne into the mix. You have to.
Yeah.
You have
true,
to. You have to. You
true.
can't not have him in there. No way.
I'm gonna show you my favorite shit right now. Right. All right. It's I'm just go a little faster, right? So you got fuck clothes like hot pieces, couple thoughts on me and they hoses like divas, got my Vans on but they look like sneakers, flipped a couple backs, bass got in the speakers, bass all in the speakers, I'm a field like baseball, play ball, face wall when the police come. I don't rock Chanel, I rock Channel. And know this in a purse, it's a satchel, blessing at you. Nah, I ain't sneeze, but if niggas want steam or smoke, then I match you.
Oof.
Got a bullet with your name on the barrel. If hollows don't clip, you get nipped like it's cat food. That dude, when I die, they gotta make a statue. Bad attitude, this ain't a purse, it is a satchel.
Ugh.
All the super seniors mumbling and rambling, mumbling and rapping, mumble rapping. I find it hard to find actual talent. I find it hard to find an actual challenge. Like Shabazz Palace last acid hit, elaborate. Rap Labs Labyrinth, word to Kodak's Black's Lazarus. Call drops on the album skits. A$AP Rocky.
Well,
Would you ever imagine?
What? No, actually, I didn't think that at all. And the thing is, it's not even that. He just threw in alliteration as well. Like,
Yeah.
and
That's
was some mad
professional level
wordplay.
shit.
that's why you got to listen to every track on the album.
Or when you got Tyler talking about, he goes, I got a belt with the holster, I ain't playing games, but I got some little niggas who would do it, so I pass the controller. You get press X out, triangle your nose, pause your life if you squares try to mess with my O's. Give me a break, bro. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That's all on one track. That's Potato Salad by Tyler Creator and A$AP Rocky. Insane.
So then my question is what the fuck happened? Like, you have
There's levels.
a minimum, a minority of people who are still repping, still going hard, still writing, like actually writing, and you got these other.
These are
fucking
young
idiots.
cats that people just thought were real silly, and they act silly, and yeah, they do silly stuff. But A$AP and Tyler, nobody expected Potato Salad from them, and
Yeah.
they just went hard. And they were chilling in Paris, doing nothing. They filmed it on like a phone or something like that. You know what I mean? It's just like,
Yeah,
this is a throwaway.
I mean,
The
says it
PlayStation
all.
controller shit, bro. Come on, son.
That's all me. I love all that shit, man.
Oh.
I'm all about it. Well, continuing with Big L, rest in peace. He was part of a group called DITL. So check it out if any of you guys haven't. It was consisted of Lord Finesse, Big L, AK, something, someone else, I can't even remember, it was slipping from my mind, and Fat Joe, anyway. And sort of like, you know, we mentioned Fat Joe last week. See that little segue?
Moving on.
Moving on. So Fat Joe and Big Pun, I kind of touched super brief on last week, and we said we'd talk about it next week.
Go.
So, firstly, as a Latino brother like yourself, growing up in BK, New York, what is your connection with these two? How does that look? What do they mean to you, my man?
When I was little, they were everything in the community, right?
Yeah.
I remember I just get flashbacks driving to Sears. Did you guys have Sears?
No, but I've done time in America.
They're gone, right? Sears.
Yeah.
It's that old. Sears is a 90s thing. I'm driving to Sears, and you have a Big Pun Jumpman mural on the wall.
Way.
And I remember seeing it every freaking time. And it has a little ponytail. You know, the Big Pun Jumpman. And I remember seeing it and always just laughing and going, that's fucking hilarious as a kid, you know? And I had a neighbor named Margie. She's still there. Yeah. It's 30 years later. Margie's still holding it down, right?
Shout outs Margie.
Puerto Rican. Like
yes,
New York cat. Like born and raised. She's just, her family's from the, like, they're all Puerto Rican, but they live in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And Margie was all about Big Pun and all about Fat Joe. So I used to get, you playing footsie?
Sorry, bro.
You over here, keep an eye on this dude, man. Nah, Margie she'd always be blasting Big Pun and Fat Joe, and I never got it. Like when you're a little kid, you're not listening to the lyrics.
Yeah, true.
You're not understanding. And I was always like, they're just Puerto Rican rappers. Like, what's the big deal? And then as I got older, I started to get obviously more into hip hop, more into the lyrics. And I'm just like, oh, this is murderous. Oh my God, Terror Squad. Oh my God. And then there's a sense of pride that comes out of that. It's like, oh, they're holding it down for us.
Yeah.
There's not many Latin guys in the, like, we had Noriega.
Yeah.
Obviously you got guys that are Latin mix. You got Joe Budden, Latin mix. You know what I'm saying? Like, but there's no guys that actually held it down and then rapped in Spanish. Yeah. And then came back and rapped in English. Yeah. And they're hanging out with all the crew. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we're represented. Like, we're represented. It's like, you know, having an English cat hanging out with the rest of the hip hop greats and going like, oh, he represents us. Yeah. And he's holding it down and he's not leaving. And he's not moving to LA. And he's, you know what I mean? Like, he's holding it down. So to me, they were a huge inspiration. At least now they're a huge inspiration.
Yeah.
Big Pun, rest in peace. You know what I mean? Dude was big though. Big Pun was big.
He was huge, man. 700 pounds.
You seen those suits?
Crazy.
Those suits, man. Big Pun was big, but he had bars. And that's what got him that far.
So,
you know what I'm saying?
You ready?
All right. Lay it on me.
All right, so I'm going to full just read it off of the iPad.
Yeah.
Because
this is your thesis.
This is my thesis, okay? And hear me out. And I can go back to other bits if you need to, but hear me out.
I'm going to put the microphone to the side just so,
Because, your reaction is going to be big, son.
Go ahead.
Okay.
All right.
You may have predicted this a little bit.
I've been spending the whole week thinking about what could you tell me about Big Pun and Fat Joe that I don't already know.
I'm potentially going to...
Want more water?
Yes,
before you
please.
go? Right.
Actually, that's a great plan. But...
Because with all the fire you're about to spit,
all the fire,
extinguish it, bro.
Well, you're definitely going to extinguish what I'm about to say.
Right, let you go.
I think I'm about to turn your world upside down, potentially, and maybe other people out there. So don't shoot the messenger. Well, I'll wait till you put that back down because I want to make eye contact with you when I say this.
Bet.
Well, I think, personally, that Fat Joe killed his protege, Big Pun.
How did I feel that coming?
Right? Okay.
Okay.
Right, I'm gonna let that sit with you for a second. I'm gonna let that sit with you for a real, for a minute.
Okay. first off, I wasn't expecting that, but I kind of felt with the Biggie news that you dropped, I was like, all right, this thing he's wild.
Just FYI, in case you're new, we talked about how I feel that Biggie was killed by Puff Daddy, P Diddy, Puff.
Check out episode number 2.
So yeah,
I thought you were gonna say, like, Big Pun is Fat Joe, and Fat Joe, and he just took his skin and like is walking around in Fat Joe. That's what I thought you were gonna say. Some wild shit, some like straight YouTube conspiracy stuff, right? Or they took Fat Joe's brain, Big Pun's brain, and they put it in Fat Joe. All right.
But it's interesting that you say that.
I don't think so. I don't think so, man. I don't know. I can't subscribe to
You
that.
ready?
They were
You
too
ready?
tight. They were too tight. Is it the same thing as Biggie and?
It's more.
All right.
There's more concrete
Go
research.
ahead.
Well, I say concrete.
Stake your claim. Stake your claim.
My claim. Okay, so the evidence is. There's something else you're going to be shocked about as well. It's coming up. So the evidence is, remember how we just spoke about Big L? And you know how like they were in the same crew, DITC, we just talked about that. Well, Big L was, say, a lyrical master. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's fair. And he wasn't from the same area as Fat Joe. He was from Harlem, and the rest of the crew was, they're all from, Bronx, Brooklyn? Fat Joe, Bronx?
I would have said Brooklyn, but Bronx and Brooklyn are practically the same thing. It's just full of Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. You said Fat Joe or Big Pun?
Fat.
Bronx.
Yep. So, and I'm pretty sure the rest of the DITC was like from Bronxy area, right? And it's known that Fat Joe initially had a problem with Big L being from Harlem and not from the same area. As you can imagine, back in the 90s, it was a lot like that. And Fat Joe has been quoted saying that Big L was the only person he ever did a song with and looked him dead in the eye and said, "Joe, you better step up your game because I'm going to rip you on this song," the Enemy song. And Big L died in 1999 for seemingly no reason, shot in the chest and head, had no gang affiliates or anything that would have a result such as this. All right, so that's over here real quick. So keep that in the back of your head. Number 2. Dubbed as one of the most thrilling and technical adept rappers of the era, in such a short time from his debut album in 98, Capital Punishment, he became the first solo Latino hip-hop artist to go platinum. Platinum, son. And that was a big deal back then.
That's a gigantic deal. No one was going platinum.
And then dies in 2000 of a heart attack, right? And we talked about this already.
Are you surprised, though?
Well, this is the thing, right? So he was obviously heavily overweight, 700 pounds, whatever that converts to.
Are you saying Fat Joe just kept feeding him and feeding him and feeding him until he
like
died,
a Method Man?
Is that what you're saying?
No.
I saw your ball shit. Just keep feeding you and feeding you. Yeah, that's what that. Yo, if you say
right.
that,
no, I got it. Right. So he was heavily overweight, had a heart attack.
Right.
But a heart attack doesn't need a murder weapon. It just needs a motive, right? Yes, indeed. Jealousy strikes again.
No.
Wait. I got you. So, Fat Joe had been grinding since like 92, 93. I think 93 he dropped his first solo album.
I think so, yeah.
Or something like that anyway. And his Padawan, right? The guy he took under his wing suddenly rose to fame quicker than he did and made more of a mark than he did in a short amount of time. Your man Fat Joe not only put the hit out on Big L out of jealousy, not being from the Bronx, and claimed it had something to do with his brothers being in prison and some sort of payback, but his actions, whatever they were, caused Big Pun to have a heart attack, and in turn that killed him. Took his rhyme book, released the album Jose, Jealous, One, Still, Envy. Right, it's all in the title, bro. It's all in the title. Jealous, okay? In 2001, giving him time to rework Pun's rhyme book, etc., the album that he dropped happened to be the first platinum record that he got.
Yeah. So you're saying he stole Big Pun's rhymes?
I'm
he
telling you.
He killed him and took his rhyme book.
For sure. And also put the hit on Big L.
You know why this kind of makes sense? Now that you say it,
Tell me. See, I knew. Come, tell me.
because after that, what did he do?
Nothing, bro.
He made "What's Love" with like Ashanti, like "What's Love."
He started being in that whole like Murder Inc. like friendship thing with Ja
the
Rule and all that.
pop rap, the same thing that Diddy did.
See, bro.
My G,
I'm telling you, man.
You're a
I'm telling you.
detective, bro.
I'm telling you.
Why you,
Yo,
hire him, FBI. This guy knows, bro.
bro, I'm telling you, man. Like
What?
dead set. Like I was looking into loads of shit last night, and then this morning I was like, oh, I'll just have another little look because I have another little look.
Dang, bro.
And then I noticed that his album 2000 that came out in 2001 that went platinum was Jealous, One Still Envy, and it's like he fucking is telling us right there.
See, I can't be associated with you because I'm from New York, and Big Pun, Fat Joe has pull, and I don't want my family to die. So
Bro, I promise you.
I'm just saying, this is not me saying this. I'm not agreeing.
Yeah, I know you.
I'm not agreeing, though. My family's going to stay alive. Fat Joe, I ain't got nothing against you, bro. You the man. The end. Because I got a lot of family in the Bronx. So if one family tells another family, and then someone, next thing you know, private jet becoming Australia, and
Good. Let's have a conversation.
My knees get broken, bro. I need these things.
Fat Joe, come on the show. Let's have a chat.
True, but Fat Joe is the type to smack the shit out of somebody.
Well, you know what though? Dead set. I reckon. Joe Budden.
Yeah,
I think he is the perfect person to have the conversation with.
You can't
with
intimidate
Fat
Joe Budden.
Joe Budden don't give a fuck.
Joe Budden, Charlemagne the God, and Fat Joe. Three guys who do not give a fuck about anything.
And then me just going, so yeah, this is my evidence.
behind
that
a bulletproof wall.
Oh, 100%. Like 50 times glass, bulletproof, everythingness. Like,
Too good.
yeah.
And yeah, after you say that, like really, he was tough then, but then he went on to like make Scary Movie or like be in one of the Scary Movies.
Don't get me wrong, like
Or
his albums after that, ignore his sort of radio releases, there were some good tracks, but nothing like his prior albums. I mean, after even, so from my understanding, Irv Gotti produced Josie, Jose.
Which Irv Gotti is Murder Inc.
Yeah. It's got to be Jose, isn't it? Because that's
Jose. Yeah,
Spanish, right?
Yeah.
Hispanic, Puerto Rican. He's Puerto Rican,
Yes.
isn't he?
Very Puerto Rican.
Yeah. So he produced that, and then the next album that came out, I can't remember what it's called, but that like just did nothing. It was nothingness, and then everything has just been really nothing, man. Like, I mean, and it was heavily featured and stuff. Same as Puff Daddy, man. When he brought out, like, I think he brought out like 2 albums, or whatever it is that I said before, after Big E died, and both of those heavily featured because he can't hold his own.
And
because he wasn't confident
and
enough
pop
anymore.
based.
Bro, I'm telling you. You see Fat Joe in the red leather like jumpsuit things and stuff, pants and jacket, like his boy Puff.
I'm mad.
94 yesterday conspiracy.
I'm mad, bro.
Sorry, man. I didn't mean to, but it had to be done.
But it makes so much sense.
So much sense. Really, like, I know it's so silly, but then it's like, if you really think about it and let it stir in your head, you're like, oh yeah, but then, and then if you go back and listen, if you listen to the tracks, man, like you can hear Pun. You can hear him. You can hear him, man. Like,
so
Joe
if
wasn't
you're saying he
instilled.
killed him, right? So you're saying are you saying he killed him, or like he caused the heart attack in some certain way, whether it was electric shock or this or that, like he found a way to give him a heart attack, or did he just take advantage of? He was always jealous of Pun. Pun died. He has access to everything because he's Pun's closest guy. He takes the book, takes a few rhymes. Next thing you know, bing, bang, boom, he's got an album.
I think that the 90s was a mental fucking time in hip hop.
Nuts.
So if it happened like say 10 years ago or today, I would say, yeah, he's this boy. He just kind of took the advantage of the situation, and the same is what I would say for Puff as well. He just took advantage of the situation. But because it was the 90s and because everyone was like, straight out from the fucking hood, like from the
Backstabbing
ghetto.
motherfuckers.
Everybody,
killing- yeah,
man,
right.
everybody was from that world, like just fresh and kind of still in it as well, you know. So it's like I do not put it past any of them. So that's why my statement stands still. Puff Daddy killed Biggie. Fat Joe put the hit out on. Puff put the hit out on Biggie. Fat Joe put the hit out on Big L, and Fat Joe
Took advantage
caused
of Big
a
Pun.
heart attack. You know, and just didn't stop it from happening.
Yeah.
Didn't call people and shit.
I like your segments, bro. Conspiracies with Aaron.
I gotcha.
That's a new segment. We're gonna create a theme song for that.
That's not a bad thing. We do like a conspiracy thing every week. It's pretty interesting. Not conspiracy, the truth. The truth is being released, my son, my brother. The truth is
Wake
here.
up.
Wake up, my brothers
those
and
white
sisters.
devils want you.
Them white devils.
The straight like Israeli. What are they called? Not Israeli. The Islam. The Black Israelites.
Yeah.
You seen those guys in like Times Square, bro? They're crazy.
Yeah.
Black Israelites are nuts. They'll be like, there's a guy walking, like a black guy walking with a white girl, dating, holding hands. They're jacked to shit, first off. And then they look like Power Rangers. Like they got this whole full suit on with like the headband and the metal. You never seen those? We'll pop a picture right here.
Yeah. Fair.
Literally, I'll show you though. And they'll be like, my brother, what are you doing with the white devil? She's taking your soul. Blah, blah, blah. Like,
My
yo,
God,
they
bro.
go ham. And for some reason, it's legal to do it in the street. And they straight up harass people. And, and they're jacked, so you can't do anything. And there's 40 of them. And they're like, keep going. And they got like this gigantic beards and they're yoked to the tits. Kendrick's family is all Black Israelite.
Yeah,
if you
right.
listen to the end of one of the songs in Damn, the end of one of the songs, he talks about like, and Deuteronomy says, and it's his uncle or something like leaving him a voicemail, a Black Israelite voicemail. And like Kendrick came from that whole Black Israelite style family.
Ain't that something? Well, yeah. So sorry to drop that bomb on you, my man, and sort of ruin your views, but the truth is the truth.
The truth is the truth.
Truth sets you free, my man. Apparently.
Look at these buff ass motherfuckers, bro.
Yeah,
Straight up.
Send me that and I'll throw it up. That's
That's Black Israelites right there, and they're scary.
They
They
look
don't
scary.
smile like nothing. I think, or at least from what I've seen, they believe that they are the original descendants of Israel, and that they are who the Bible talks about. So they and the white man's taken over that story of the Bible to make it their own. But there was black Jews out of Egypt, black Jews out of Israel, and they are Black Israelites. They wear the Star of David. They wear these clothes. They have these ranks, and they march the streets hard. And they're like, "We're gonna take
of New York.
They're gonna
Of Manhattan or like
Manhattan.
all the boroughs.
No, they'll be in Times Square yelling at people, just going hard. And anyway,
Moving on.
moving on.
That brings us to our next segment, which is called First Impressions.
Shoot.
So, Take Time by Henry Bateup, released last year. Haven't actually given it a listen. It's been on my radar for a long while, since before it was released. And I don't know, just never listened to it. But my first impression, what's your first impression? I'll tell you mine, because I've got mine written. Or do you want me to go first?
No, I'm just thinking. I'm trying to put it together. It's the English cat, right? Yeah.
Yeah, he's an English
It's
dude.
good. It's good. It's very English. His accent is thick. So I like the beat. I like the flow. I like everything about it. I get distracted by his accent because it's so thick.
Really?
That's the only thing. I get distracted. Like, so I pay attention to his accent more almost than I do. It's just that English accent.
That's
Which is
interesting,
rad. Like, it's his own flow. There's nobody... There's a lot of people trying to sound American in their tracks. It sucks.
I can't
right?
stand that absolute nonsense.
A lot of people trying to sound American. But I liked it.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm gonna need to listen to it more. But my first impression was, like I'd listen to the rest of his stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's the only thing he's released.
Really?
Which is crazy.
Dang.
Like,
well, I'm looking forward to the rest of his stuff.
Yeah,
then.
for
Rad.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, for me, like I said, I wrote it down, so I'm just going to read it off.
Yep.
But I think for me, this is a track is what English hip hop heads like beg for.
Right.
You know what
Cool.
I mean? Like in the sense of that style of hip hop track. That's exactly the one. You know. When the beat kicks in after like 35 seconds or something, prior to that, you already have a smile on your face. Like you're feeling relaxed, and then boom, the ease of flow from Henry is unreal. What a journey his voice takes us on, man.
You're being poetic with this thing.
I know. When I was writing this like late last night, and I was just like, shit, they were just flying on my fingertips, man.
Rad.
Yeah, no, it complements the beat perfectly. So shout out to the producer, which I can. There was no sort of. Maybe he produced it. I don't know. Yeah. But who knows? But shout out to the producer. The talk singing works really well. It kind of reminds me of the streets a little bit.
It does. That's what I was exactly gonna say. I was like, it reminds me of the streets, like heaps.
Yeah.
And which is iconically UK, like that talk rapping. Sort of.
Yeah.
That's what I liked. Yeah.
So yeah, it was perfect, man. Like giving off that streets vibe, but still keeping true to himself, for sure. Not like it was just like it was clear. It's sort of clear that it's a slight influence, but not the whole thing. It's like a 5% influence, and the rest is himself. But yeah, as for the lyrics, they're incredibly relatable for pretty much everyone and anyone who really sort of pays attention to lyrics. He rhymes everything so eloquently as well. Even though he has a British accent, a lot of the time when British people rap, it can be quite, not to be confused with mumble rap, but it can be quite mumbled or muffled.
No,
he's very clear and precise.
Which makes me hear the English accent a lot more.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, overall, a great storyteller, switching up the style ever so slightly in places as well, which is quite refreshing. For me, an instant sort of classic in for someone who's like new, quote unquote, new to the game. I know he's been rapping for years, but like, first track is released. And in an English hip hop world, not grime, like not that actual hip hop.
Actual English hip hop.
Yeah, like your Jest, your Brain Tax, not Master, Chester P.
Master P.
Yeah.
In his past life.
Yeah. Chester P, Jest, Natty Dweller, all that lot. Like, that song sits up there with some of those tracks for sure. Skinny Man as well.
Yep.
Yeah, super excited to see what's coming next, and you can check him on Spotify and iTunes.
Rad.
Definitely check him out, man. I'll put his handle up here as well. And
yep.
For all you YouTube watchers, you can go follow him, because I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, so sorry. And then secondly, random. I was listening on a Spotify playlist that's locals, like local music or whatever, like local hip hop music or whatever, and it updates every week. And this was just from there, so I just pressed on a random one. I think I even just pressed shuffle, and I just picked the first one. So it's this dude called Rops One, and the track's called Frontline. Again, released last year in August. So it's from Campbelltown, which is like a suburb in Sydney for people who don't know. It's more grimy, for sure. But for me, man, as soon as it was on, I was like, ooh, like it was a banger, and I was just like, I'm not the biggest fan of grime either, but like when I hear something nice, then I'm like, I back it. So for me, sick bit of grime, flow is nice, But this is the thing, man. I'm a lyric guy, and it wasn't anything special at all. Like, sorry to say, Rops one, mate, geezer, but we've heard it all before. You know what I mean? The whole, I rep these ends, I'm the best, no one is as good as me, you know, I'm going to do shit, I'm going to be around forever, I'm going to do this. Like, it's just all talkback radio, man. Like, I listened to some of the other stuff he released on Spotify. Like, there's only like 7 tracks or something, but like individual tracks. But he has like 95,000 listeners monthly, which is wild. I mean, I don't know how that algorithm works.
It's the West, bro. They support their own for sure.
Well, yeah, that's what it comes down to.
Right.
But they're all really similar. And every single track that came out is just so similar. Like, what he's saying, he's talking about the same shit, just on fucking repeat. His flow is nice, don't get me wrong, and the beats are good for the most part, like from the other tracks as well. But my first impression on this track, that is a banger. But if I never heard it again, I wouldn't even realise. So sorry about that, bruh.
I think that's what I think.
Yeah.
I think that. I think it was not bad by any means. It wasn't bad. It was just not memorable.
Not at all. Unfortunately,
but at the same time, it's like this kid clearly has potential. Clearly, if he associates with the right people musically, I think he has potential. It's just like you said, it's kind of overdone, the whole thing.
Absolutely, man.
And coming out of C-Town,
yeah, that's what he calls it.
it's just I'm unfortunately I'm not really into the West rap. I'm just not, like, that's all right. Like, that's my opinion. I'm just not into I need more substance. I need something more musically balanced. I need something full. It can't just be a beat that sounded like it's from YouTube.
Yeah.
And a kid that rapped over it, where he sounds like he wrote the lyrics in a day, because it's easily forgettable. But at the same time, this is not to say that it's bad. I'm not trying to discourage it at all. It's not 1-4. It's not memorable.
Yeah.
While 1-4's over here, again, they might be cut from the same cloth, but 1-4's flows come at you and they punch you hard, and it's like I still have their flows live in my brain right now, and I'm not even a huge like grime drill fan.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's just what they call like drill now, right? Yeah.
UK was grime.
Yeah, and then the rest is just drill.
Yeah. I'm not. Drill is like a Chief Keef thing.
Yeah, so, that's right. Yeah.
Or like Lacey up in Brisbane, like he's memorable. But
yeah,
let's see what this cat comes up with later. You know what I mean?
Look, any advice to anyone out there who wants to start rapping and doing the rest of it? It's all well and good saying what you are going to do and all the rest of it, but just allow yourself. Like, you don't need to be talking about that for 7 tracks.
What's cooler is if you just do it.
Yeah. And
you don't say you don't really say shit. You're just about that life. You know?
Exactly.
And it's like, ooh, fuck. That's the whole music, though, is talking about what you do.
Yeah, but I mean, bro, if you 7 tracks to talk about the exact... Honestly,
not
it's
everyone
almost...
can be Kendrick. Not everyone can be Cole. Not everyone can be these guys that are rapping right now that create stories. They can't. You know what I mean? Sometimes they need to be. There's levels to this, right? And they're on level 1, and it's the exact same thing. All the rappers start out at level 1.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and then eventually they start growing, and their songwriting gets better. But most of the time it starts talking shit, just really talking shit.
Well, I guess that my sort of the only advice that I think is worth me giving, in fact, I've changed my mind. This is the only worth advice is don't surround yourself by people who tell you that your shit is fucking amazing. Surround yourself with people who are going to tell you, actually, man, you've been talking about the same shit for too long. Yeah. Or blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, get a real friend, a real person to give you constructive criticism and work on it together.
It's hard
of course.
when your song has 1.1 million plays.
Yeah, exactly. You know,
my song don't have. My song is just breaking 1,000 plays, just barely breaking 1,000 plays.
and that's what's crazy, man. Like
1.1 million.
doing something right, I guess.
At that point, you're clear, like you're hitting a market, and it's a market that we don't understand. That's not us. We're not the market
true.
that he's aiming at.
That's
That's something
incredibly
for
true.
us to remember. You know,
Keep doing your thing, man. You
do it up,
you.
do it up, Lil G. He looks tiny, bro.
Yeah.
He looks very little, and I mean, by little, I mean like young. You know.
Yeah, that was my first impression of him as well.
But yeah, fuck it, man. Like, just everyone should just be pumping music out. Can you also please like update your Spotify? You're over here with like a MySpace photo. There's a dartboard and like some crutch hanging out by the wall, like in the front of his mate's house, and then the other photo is like some butchered to death like screenshot of a screenshot of a screenshot.
Yeah.
Just get a proper photographer. You have the plays. Clearly, people fucks with your shit. Just invest some money into it.
Or just get someone with a new iPhone to take
That's
a
it.
picture. Done.
Or even an old iPhone. This shit looked like it was taken on a potato, bro. Come on, bro. With that being said,
with that being said, is there any sort of anything going on like this coming week that you know of? Any sort of gigs or anything cool?
no.
Or any product that you sort of come across that you think is dope that's worth a shout out?
Shout out to So Far Sydney. I just met a girl that helps run it. Shout out to all the people that I got to hang out with on Friday. I got invited to a music jam event. I was kind of the only hip hop influenced person there, I guess.
Yeah.
Even though they were covering like Lauryn Hill, they were covering like really good tracks, and the band was freaking incredible. Like I felt like nothing compared to them.
Yeah.
But shout out to them for the invite. If you want to check it out, So Far Sydney. They are a branch off of So Far Sounds,
Which is
a gigantic movement spreading across the world. So you got, most recently you have like Krungbin, you got Leon Bridges, you got Billie Eilish, you got like a couple people that played So Far, and the whole you're over here channeling the spirits. The whole idea of So Far is an intimate setting, 30, 40 people in a room, and then you get these like artists to come and play these intimate settings. So they just started the So Far up here. Check them out on Instagram. I think they got like
I'll throw the Instagram
trillion
handle
likes.
up
Oh,
for-
the So Far Sydney, yeah, that's just
the watchers.
sort of starting up. But the So Far, the original, the main one, man, the amount of artists that come through, and it's like super high caliber. Like, come on, man, you don't got Billie Eilish just playing any old living room. You know what I mean? So it's like apparently the tickets are hard to get. You got to apply for the tickets, and it's huge. Like they got a lot of followers, and clearly people are very into it. Friends, like when I went onto their Instagram, friends that I know that I didn't even know that they knew what it was.
Yeah.
They know. So it's I think it started in New York. Duh.
Interesting.
But yeah, So Far Sydney, they had their event on Valentine's Day. Yeah, and it was rad, and I was just part of, I guess, like a little branch off of what they've been doing. So yeah, shout out to them. And I can't wait for the next event.
Yeah, sick. Shout out to those guys.
Yeah.
Keep doing the thing. Aside from that, I don't think... Oh, did you have any listener comments or questions or anything?
No, surprisingly not.
No, I just got all that spam stuff.
Give me a break.
But then I only posted actually something up yesterday.
Yeah, maybe we should
post.
post it like way earlier.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I posted it up like an hour before the podcast.
Yeah.
It's like that's literally only the 6 people that watch my story.
Yeah.
So we will post it.
But yeah, if you want to, you can always slide into the DMs.
Always.
Either mine, Angel's, or 994's yesterday. DM on Instagram, or leave a comment if you're watching via YouTube.
Yes, sir.
Also, if you're listening on the podcast app, like the Apple Podcast or Spotify, or whichever one you sort of get your podcast fix from, leave us a little review, a little 5-star review if you feel like being generous, and let us know how we're doing. It helps us get found by other people, like-minded people,
Yeah.
like yourself.
In the sea of
Oof, all
hundreds of thousands of podcasts.
it's got to be hundreds of thousands, easy.
We're this little seed just coming up,
But
trying
that's
to
all right.
fight for ourselves.
Look,
This
man.
little sperm trying to hit the egg.
Joe Rogan was once said little seed.
Joe
and-
Rogan was also the host of Fear Factor. I mean, he had
yeah.
a head start, you know.
But you know how much he earns now a year podcasting?
Quadrillion dollars.
$30 million.
Yeah, fuck off.
Isn't that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
That's just podcasting though. It's
Yeah.
not like his
Incredible.
MMA event
And it's also not his
talking
comedy.
or whatever, or his comedy. Yeah.
Fuck. And it's also not the coffee business that he runs or the workout business that the company that he runs or whatever. That's wild.
Yeah. So
One
yeah.
day, my G.
One day. All right. Well, with that being said, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast. Follow, subscribe, share. Yeah.
That's it.
All right.
Peace.
You.